Hi, I'm Perry Atkinson, General Manager here at theDove. Hey, check out our other videos and check out our website at thedove.us. Welcome back. Well, it's always a delight and an honor to have with us our good friend David Crowe. He is the founder and the president of Restore America. And this man has been very passionate about what goes on in the state of Oregon, from candidates to issues. And let me encourage you to go to Restore America's website and take a look at all the things that he makes available there. Incredible resource, and especially for pastors and elders. Take a look at Restore America website and support them. They're on the front line of the battle, and they do this by grace and by God's goodness, and we just encourage you to support this organization because it is worthy of every little bit that you can help with. Dave, good to see you, my friend. How you doing?
Well, you too. Wish I could see you, but I'm looking at the picture of the dove there, but I don't see my friend Perry Atkinson, but I guess that's okay. Hopefully you're not as old as I am, so you probably look a lot better.
Well, it's okay. This isn't a beauty contest on either side.
No, I gave up on that a long time ago.
Well, David, Measure 91, boy, you have taken this one on with a passion. What drew you to this one?
Well, as I mentioned in one of my previous emails, I don't think that there is a more important issue to impact the state of Oregon, the people of Oregon, all the people of Oregon, any more than this issue. It shouldn't be on there. It's funded by billionaires and George Soros from back east, out of state in Colorado, a guy by the name of Lewis, and we know what he's about. He's dead now, but his family's taken his vision on. So literally a couple $1 million have come in from outside the state to propagandize you. You may be receiving some of that mail already, or on TV or radio, but they're going with the typical big establishment plan strategy, which is to so inundate the media with their point of view and their arguments, many of which are very specious, and I have been trying to address that. So to answer your question, it is the most important. Yes, we'd like to see a new governor. We definitely need a turn of control in the legislature. We need to change some congressmen, but I think that chance is very difficult right now. But Oregonians and Christians need to recognize how damaging this is. And I think some of the things that I sent recently prove that. The problem is getting people to forward. I keep asking people to forward my emails to their friends list, and they don't do it. And that's the problem in Christianity, is that we just read things and assume that somehow I have a magic wand that I can spread this sparkle dust across the state and everybody's home. Can't do it without them, without your readers.
Well, let me encourage you to get David's emails and to take this resource and this information. He's done his homework, and do share it with your friends, especially now as the voter pamphlets come out this week, and soon the ballots will be out. David, are we learning anything? Have we learned anything from Colorado and Washington State on this issue?
Well, we'll definitely find out. We have, those of us who do our homework and research, and of course that's what I do with my time, is pay attention to these issues and do the research. And there's some gallant people, a handful of people who are fighting this issue, and they're doing an absolutely fantastic job. And they're providing the information. And I think you may have seen my email that I sent out, I believe, yesterday afternoon it was about the Oregonian.
Right.
And the two doctors up there, not just up there, but one of them retired, but both of these guys have real credentials. And they are telling us how much they have learned, not only prior to that, but since that time in Colorado. And it's not good. It's not good. The things that we should be learning, the question is, are we learning? Some of the editorial pages in the more conservative areas of the state are recognizing with the information that we're sending them that this is not a good bill. This is not good for Oregon. And so they're saying, wait, because the information that is coming out, particularly out of Colorado, is damning. And so Oregonians are going to be foolish if they buy into the propaganda from George Soros and the ilk that want to change drug policy in this country, starting state by state if they have to. So have we learned? Yes, we have learned. And there's several things having to do with driving, having to do with the impact on young people. In the state of Colorado, they're selling what are called edibles. which has to do with candy and cookies and all kinds of things that look like gummy bears and whatnot, and they're jamming them with marijuana for the kids. So these doctors have shown how debilitating this is for younger people in particular. And the marijuana today that is available is 300 to 800% more powerful than it was back in the Woodstock days. So
yeah,
those things are a real problem. And folks need to go to that website. It's Vote No on 91. Let's see, www.voteno91.com. And they have that information there as well. So it's out there. It's a problem of getting it out to enough people so they're not persuaded that this is a great idea.
All right, a couple things come out of this, David. First of all, is it true that the Bend Bulletin came out against it?
Yes, it is. And it's also true the Daily Astorian, Eastern Oregonian. I think the Klamath Falls newspaper has come out against it, and we're expecting more. I do have an email that's a bit private at this point, but the Oregon Pediatric Association, pediatricians, they are already on record, at least with us, as coming forward, and they're opposing it as well. And there's also going to be a vote coming up this Friday on the 10th by the Oregon Medical Association and to oppose it as well. They're going to have a vote on that. So it's not real clear yet, but I'd be surprised if they didn't come out opposing it as well.
Well, so there's some good momentum here, and I know that some counties and even certain cities now, in preparation in case it does pass, that they want to pass a fairly heavy tax. Now they're doing that in advance of the vote, which could be a deterrent. Yes,
they're trying to protect themselves from what they see possibly coming down the road. And they're right to do that. But just stop and think about this a little bit. Just because now you can go and buy it, here in the state of Oregon, it is so easily available, and you can have so much more. You can have 8 times as much as Colorado has allowed. Instead of 1 ounce, it's 8 ounces. It's just virtually out of control. And what they're recognizing is you can have up to 4 plants, marijuana plants in your home. You can grow them there if you want to. So with all that's available, why will people go buy it when they can build it? Okay, when they can plant it in their home and grow it, why go buy it? So in terms of revenue, producing revenue, it's not going to produce near the revenue that these guys are saying. That's a come on. That's a propaganda piece that's projected like the CBO at the feds, and we wind up finding out it's 5 to 10 times more expensive than they even projected. Well, it's going to the cost as far as I'm concerned is clearly, and the doctors are concerned, and the people who deal with this, the prevention specialists around the state and the counties know that the price you pay is the effect that it has on our young people. Because 25 and under, the impact on the brain is far more dangerous, more difficult, and harder to overcome later in life. And some of these things that happen show up later in life. And so are we really willing to play with our kids' lives emotionally, psychologically, with what we're doing with this drug? Why add another drug? We've got a problem with alcohol, got a problem with tobacco. And the same strategy that the tobacco people use to get young people smoking is the same strategy that the marijuana people are using, and hardly anybody knows about it. And if you go to a site called Edventi, and that's spelled EDVENTI.com, there is the greatest video there. It's expensive, but Oregonians, if they get it instead of $149, they'll get it for $99. I arranged that with them here this last week to get a special price, but that DVD, which is late at this point, it shows exactly what has happened and why we should not do this, because it's the same strategy. They're working psychologically to get our kids to use marijuana, and it's a gateway drug, and that's what they're doing. Same thing as the tobacco industry.
Yeah.
It's very damning.
Couple things here, David. First of all, at the end of the day, it is a mind-altering drug. Number two, we're not regulating it like we would tobacco. Number three, those who are using it, they're driving our cars. They could be some of our medical personnel. We don't know who's using this and the responsible jobs and positions they may be in and how that could alter their performance. And thirdly, we don't know what the cost is going to be on municipalities, the state and otherwise, to enforce it.
Yeah, and those are just some of the sideline things that are coming up. The more reality-based things that we need to be aware of. For instance, there are 2 Denver deaths tied to marijuana use already in Colorado. With Measure 91, there's no established rules with regard to what is considered intoxicated driving for marijuana. And those fatalities, I wish I could get all the information on my site, but right now I can't do that. But I'm trying to put it out for people and send it to you as well. You may want to put some of it up. I don't know whether you can or not to make it available to people. But the stats are climbing. In fact, 17% the support for marijuana or for the bill in marijuana has gone down 17% in this short year already because of the things that they're seeing happening on the streets. And in Denver in particular, there's over 500 of these stores now where you can buy marijuana and all this other stuff in the various forms and the edibles. So, okay, if people can walk in there and do that and buy that, they can take it home. And kids, if it's out, kids will find it, and it'll look like gummy bars. It'll look like, candy bar or something. And I did send out. Did you read the one I sent out with Maureen Dowd of the New York Times?
Right.
And what she did, and she ate that candy bar, and it just about threw her off the deck. And so, anyway, there's plenty of evidence that this is dangerous business, and we need to think not more than a dozen times before we ever pass a bill like this.
Dave, a couple of other questions. Number one, have you seen any polling on the issues yet? And number two, what's been the response from churches?
I have no idea what the response is from churches. They're not telling me what they're doing, but I'm certainly sending this stuff to these pastors on my list, and I've got a pretty extensive list. So here again, I don't know that you can count on anything from the churches because they're not saying what they're going to do. They never do. They're not coming out and telling us what they're doing, and so it's a void. So that's part of the reason for the value of this interview is that the people themselves can hear this and hear what's going on. But I am sending this information to churches, and it's I sent out a fact sheet included with this 1,600 letters that we sent from Restore America to pastors, evangelical Bible-believing pastors all over the state of Oregon. It was about this election, it was about voter registration, and it was about also with one page of fact sheet on No on 91. With all the stuff that they really need. They can go and research this. It's not that hard, but it's going to come down to, like it usually does, do we Christians turn out to vote? Are we going to talk to our friends? Let me just give you one little stat here that's very troubling to me, is that yesterday I sent out an appeal for support because, frankly, I've been paying so much of this out of my own pocket, and I don't have it anymore. We've run out. And so I sent out an appeal to 1,980 people yesterday, and albeit it's less than 24 hours, but of that 1,980, only 212 people even opened it. And of the 212 people that I asked to make a sacrificial gift to support our efforts here and pay for the things that we've got going, only 2 people responded. Only 2. This is what I run into year after year. Is that people love to get the information. People pat me on the back and say, boy, we love that information. But when it comes to supporting a Christian ministry, it's so important to them, they don't do it. Mm-hmm. And so we fall right through the crack. We can't do all the things that we would like to do. And that's atrocious. And worse yet, not one person forwarded my emails to anybody else. Not one. And this is typical all the way down the line. And so we lose because we don't talk to one another. We won't invest a minute or two to forward an important piece of information to their neighbors or to their friends or to their list. What is the matter with us? We've lost our savor. We're no longer salt. That's why we lose, Perry.
Yeah.
Is because we don't have that attitude of David to Goliath. We don't have that attitude of the Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego. We've lost that. So if we're not being led by our pastors to do these things, and the pastors aren't demonstrating it themselves, then the people continue to do nothing. They're sheep.
All right. With that said, let me encourage you that, first of all, go to the Restore America, and you want them to go to the info one?
.org.
Okay.
RestoreAmerica.org.
Okay.
They can go there.
Yeah.
But then they can also go to letsvoteoregon.com. Letsvoteoregon.com. But go to our website. Sign up. You can sign up. You can get the emails.
Support it.
There's not much time left.
Yeah.
We've got, 7 days before voter registration's over with?
7
We
days.
ought to be pushing so hard for Christians for voter registration, because the vote this time around is so important. And it's time to change the legislature. It's time to change the governorship. Why Oregonians allowed this guy back in after 8 years before, they didn't learn anything. And it didn't need to happen. Mm-hmm. There's enough Christians out there who could have made the difference. And that's the truth also in Measure 91.
All right. Again, RestoreAmerica.org. You can get the resources there. Let's support Dave and his efforts. He sends this stuff out regularly. And I tell you what, his emails are impacting. And let me encourage you, number one, forward them on to friends. Number two, print them out and give a copy to your pastor in case they didn't receive it or print it out. Just print out a copy and say, hey, pastor, read this, and get on with it. But Measure 91, we got the voter pamphlets coming out this week, David. I think there are three measures that's going to drive the voters this year. Measure 90, which is whether or not we're going to do away with do away with closed primaries. Both the Republican Party and the Democratic Party are saying no to this, so that's kind of good news. Measure 91, which is this one, the legalizing marijuana in the state of Oregon. And then Measure 92, the GMO issue. I think those three issues are going to bring a lot of people out, not to mention the fact that the House and the Senate could be taken over by Republicans.
Well, let's hope so, because they control the agenda. And what people don't understand is that first vote that they take in there is who's going to be for the Speaker of the House or who's going to be the President of the Senate. And if it's a Democrat, that whole agenda, the Republicans, any bills that they put in there are probably not going to even get heard or go to committee. So the whole agenda is controlled. So if you want a more conservative Oregon, you want more accountable government, then you've got to go to more conservative people, elect them, and put them in office. So the legislature is important. The governorship is important. These bills, did you also mention the driver's license?
Yeah.
The bill did you mention that? I must have missed that. But that's extremely important. They're going to give them out free to people who are undocumented and can't prove their citizenship.
Right.
That's just crazy.
Yep.
So hopefully that'll drive the percentage of turnout up higher.
Well, David, thank you. You're an inspiration and delight. Again, let me encourage you, folks. Go to RestoreAmerica.org. Now, there's a whole lot of information on that website. A whole lot of information. Pastors, I got to encourage you that this website is all the information you need to be a patriot pastor. And you can take a look at it there. But let's support Dave. Send him an offering. RestoreAmerica.org. Let's help him out. Thank you, David. Let's stay in touch. The countdown begins this week as the voter pamphlets come out. And let's stay in touch and see what we can do to get people to not only get out and vote and register to vote, but make sure they vote the right way.
You bet. Hey, build that wall.
Oh, you bet. God bless you, pal. All right, we'll be right back.
You too.